My film will be titled Down the Road and Miles Apart. It will consider the rise of New Age spirituality and decline of traditional religion through observing the practices of Bristol Baptist Church and Bristol Buddhist Centre. These organisations have been selected as they are located within 100 metres of one another, yet represent two contrasting belief systems, demonstrating the diversity of religious and spiritual choice faced in modern society. The film will make links to Durkheim's elementary forms of religious life, where he identifies the religious nature of man. For Durkheim, religious belief in ritual represents and recreates society's collective sentiments. The film will attempt to shed light on secularisation debates and key trends, such as the declining membership of traditional religions and rising participation in Buddhist and Hindu practices. Likewise, Ledger's idea of spiritual shopping will be explored. This is where individuals choose elements of different religions that best suit their lifestyle. My film has been influenced by Louis Theroux's Scientology movie and Wild Wild Country. Both are documentaries about the inner workings of religions and cults. Whilst the religions I will focus on will be much more normative, these provide shocking examples of the influence that religion can have over individuals. It will be comprised of observational video, interviews and off-screen narration, combining elements of expository and observational documentary methods. Interviews of religious and spiritual leaders as well as ritual participants will be conducted. This footage will be intertwined with observational film of selected prayer and meditation practices, and off-screen narration will provide an analysis of events. The film will begin by setting the scene of each organisation and asking some key questions. Is traditional religion declining and is New Age spiritualism increasing? Is this because man has an essential religious nature? And what are the benefits of this new attitude towards religion? Followed by an observation and analysis of traditional religious practices and New Age practices. Interviews will then be conducted to explore the subject's experiences of secularisation, spiritual shopping, and declining traditional religion. Finally, a narrative contemplation of the trends and perspectives that were discovered, if any, will be provided. The opening questions of the film will be addressed whilst trying to maintain a sociological focus. Establishing shots will be used at the beginning of the film to clearly show the location of events. It will be used to establish the setting of churches and its environmental dynamics. The establishing shot will be framed from a low angle to emphasize the sacredness of religious and spiritual buildings. Full shots will be used when observing practices to best capture the actions of subjects, as well as capturing how this relates to their environment. A large depth of field would be best suited for these shots, as the shot will seek to emphasize group behavior and action, so everything will need to be kept in focus. Medium shots will be used for interviewing participants to reveal the subject in more detail and to emphasize their body language. A shallow depth of field will be used here to keep the image of the subject sharp and draw more attention to their responses. Throughout recording, the film will try to achieve as much exposure as possible, as religious and spiritual buildings tend to be decorated with bright colours and murals, so a high exposure will best emphasise the interior of each environment. This will be done by shooting with the largest aperture possible without compromising the depth of field, and will be assisted by using a high ISO and exposure compensation. Manual white balance will also be used to match the camera's colour sensitivity to the light of the environment. A tripod will be used to keep blurring to a minimum during interviews and observations. Religious halls may be quite large. In order to capture the whole setting or event, a tripod may be necessary for smooth pans. I will try to keep editing of interviews to a minimum in order to convey the genuine responses of participants. However, some prayer and meditative practices can be slow and long-winded, so these will be edited to show what I consider the key moments. The creative uniqueness of my film is grounded in gaining the first-hand experiences of religious and spiritual leaders towards the changing patterns of religiosity in modern society. The plurality and diversity of faiths within 100 metres of one another, specific to Gloucester Road, Bristol, is unique within itself. I will be observing and inquiring into sacred beliefs and rituals that can be very personal and taken very seriously by individuals. Furthermore, particular codes of conduct may be required in certain practices, for example, complete silence during meditation and prayer. Therefore, while shooting, I will be mindful and respectful of individuals' personal beliefs and traditions, as well as following any codes of conduct during rituals. Before filming, informed consent will be gained from everyone featured in the film.